Hi, I'm Jamie, and in this show, we talk about everything outdoors in the Pacific Northwest. Life and fishing, health and hiking, relationships with others, the outdoors, and with ourselves. Join us for epic catches, new fishing techniques, and insights on ways to create your next wild adventure. For us, fishing is more than just a hobby, it's a way of life. Welcome to the Fishing for a Reason podcast. I want to share my experience fishing salmon derbies. And the intention of this show is to really give you a behind the scenes look of what it's like to actually sign up for a salmon derby, participate in one, and the ripple effect of what that all is. And I'm just going to dive right in and riff on this whole experience. We've got the Resurrection Derby coming up here in August 16th and 17th, actually, in 2024, depending on when you're listening to this. We'll have a non-host captain's meeting on the 15th as well. But if you listen to Carrie Small's episode last week, and I'll make sure to link out to it in the show notes, I believe it's episode 4. This community is so incredibly fun to be a part of. And salmon derbies are the gateway. At least for me, they have been the biggest gateway. They were Carrie's gateway. Really, all the people in my circle, it started with a fishing derby. There's something about that experience of competition that creates a level of camaraderie, but also like fun edginess. So I'm just going to paint you a picture. Out here in Marine Area 7, which is the San Juan Islands in the Salish Sea, for those of you that are unaware, we used to have a derby series, and it went in the wintertime. There were several different derbies. We actually used to have some in the early spring. Over time, as our seasons shrank, our derbies disappeared. But I was one of those people that the first year I started fishing and then finally caught that fish and then caught more and loved every second of it. It was like, sign me up for that derby. I'm in. And then I did it. And I was like, holy crap, that was fun. And once I discovered that experience, I could not get my hands on enough derbies. It was really a good time. And it comes down to the community, but also the intensity of fishing. So you get into a derby and it's all hands on deck. You're working together with your team. The experience is so much more than the actual day. So you book a derby. You have your teammates that you've selected. You start talking about the derby. And I'm talking, you've got the text threads of, okay, where are we going to go? Who's bringing the beer? Who's bringing the food? Where are we going to stay? All those conversations, but mostly like, where are we going to fish? And just figuring out your dynamics on the boat, because you're also, as teammates, wanting to win together, but you also want to be the one to catch the biggest fish, right? So it's a lot of fun to have that camaraderie / competition build up leading up to a fishing derby. And you'll have the boat completely dialed in. You'll probably have gone out with your friends a couple times, or at least had a couple conversations about your plan. And that game plan may adjust a little bit, but it has this whole event atmosphere. So once you sign up, you're planning who's going to be with you. You're planning where you're going to go fish, looking at the tides, watching the weather really closely, talking about what leaders and stuff you're going to use. You're probably going to buy some gear. It's one heck of an experience. And the Resurrection is such a cornerstone of those derbies. The reason it's called the Resurrection Derby is because it always was the very first weekend of the winter blackmouth season. So blackmouth, in case you don't know, is another name for a resident Chinook salmon, because their mouth is literally black. All Chinook salmon, but resident Chinook that don't actually go way out in the ocean and return in the summer like we're used to catching. These guys hang out and they are in the San Juan Islands year round. So because of that, the blackmouth fishery tends to be a little bit smaller, but you do see some winter fish come in to, especially those derbies, over 20 pounds. Typically, they're around the 10 to 15 pound range is a good solid size fish in the winter. In the summer, it's way different than that and way more fun than that, because there's big freaking kings out there and it's a blast. So that's why we're hosting it in the summer, because we no longer have the derby in the winter. And this is actually a really important thing for our club. I'm part of the Puget Sound Anglers Club, the Fidalgo chapter, and we're in Anacortes out here. And this has been our biggest fundraiser for several years. So when we lost that winter season, we also lost our funding. And that was a big hit. So we're working on pivoting by introducing a halibut derby and then also bringing back the resurrection in the summer. And it does take a little bit to build that back up because things are different. They're not what they used to be. So because of that, we are so excited to create this new experience with it. Typically with resurrection, you are in the weather. It's usually raining. There's been snow, there's been ice, there's been tons of wind. So even just fishing can be very hard and beat you up. Because we're doing this in August, like that's a whole nother experience. And the beauty of that is you can bring your family and be pretty darn confident it's going to be an excellent day out on the water. We've got a kids prize, we've got a women's prize, we've got veterans prize and active duty military prize, secret weight prize. And of course, you can win up to $10,000. So it's a big, significant derby. And I highly recommend, if you're not sure about it, reach out to me. I would love to just give you a little bit more insight and see if it's a good fit for you and what you're wanting to do. But you do not have to be a seasoned angler to fish in a derby. That's the cool thing. You just need to be the one that catches a fish. And even if you don't catch the biggest fish, you're probably going to win something because there's always a ton of really incredible partners in the area that'll donate stuff. So as an example, we've have a grill that was donated from Cabela's. We've gotten some knives donated from Harbor Marine and gift cards. Secret Cove is a restaurant out here that's donating some gift cards. We've also got John Beath donating some halibut gear. We also have Tom and Jerry's Boat Center. They're sponsoring the derby. And what's really cool about that is they're going to bring a couple boats most likely to our venue. So we're going to be hosting this at the Depot Center in Anacortes. It's really close to the Cap Sandy Marina. So if you sign up and you're going to haul your boat over here, it's really easy to get a slip at Cap Sandy. It's a large location. And if you call and say you're part of the Resurrection Derby, they know, and they're going to try to put everybody semi-close together, best that they can do. And so your boat is walking distance to the venue. So essentially on Thursday, we'll have a no host captains meeting. And what that means is it's not required. So you do not have to actually come to the meeting. In past derbies, you had to go to the captains meeting or you were disqualified. We're not doing that this year, but it's really fun to hang out before the derby. So we are going to have a no host derby, which means we'll have a little bit of appetizers for you guys. And we're just going to hang out at the heart of Anacortes, right behind Rockfish, also walking distance from Cap Sandy Marina, and just talk, have fun, do a little raffle. We'll have the 50-50 for sale there too. And it's a great time and a great opportunity to mingle and see what everybody's thinking they're going to be doing and getting to know people. So then day one, fishing will start at sunrise and weigh-in is 2 to 5 both days. So from 2 to 5 p.m., you can weigh your fish. That'll be on ADOC. A2 to be exact. So you'll swing in there, weigh your fish, go park wherever your slip is, and then come hang out with us on Saturday night at 6:00 at the Depot Center. And we'll do a taco bar and we'll have a ceremony. We'll do raffle. We'll give away some money and some prizes. And it's pretty exciting to hand that $10,000 check over to somebody. So it's for a really great cause. We're going to have our scholarship winner there as well, so you guys can get a glimpse of what kind of work that we do. We also do a lot of work with fish enhancement. So I wanted to just bring this up because it's a question that we keep getting asked about this derby. This is an Area 6 and Area 7 derby, all salmon derby. So if you weigh in a coho, you could win a prize, a secret weight, but there is a king fishery that is a terminal fishery in Bellingham Bay. And this is a little known gem for locals out here. It's a blast. Just to give you an idea, this fishery can be really hard and really slow, and then it can be lights out. It is really fun. We've had days where we've gotten our limit, and you can keep kings, both hatchery and wild, in this fishery, which makes it a whole ton of fun. If you get a king, you're keeping it. So that's where most guys are going to be. That's where a lot of the competition is probably going to be the fiercest. There's a lot of different strategies for fishing that area. And if you are new to that fishery, we are going to do in-depth training on that inside of the Anglers Unlimited Gold membership. On August 13th, our opening call will be specifically on how to fish that region. So if you are interested in learning more about that, you can click the link in the show notes and get access to that. We have doors open to that. So we're only taking 20 members into that community for this founding member round. But if you want to jump in and actually get some hands-on experience of how to actually go out and fish that area, this is a great opportunity to do it. And you might win 10 grand. You can see in this video here, so for those of you listening, we are transitioning to a quick video clip for everybody on YouTube. Definitely worth grabbing the link below if you're able to and watching it. But in this video here, it's a clip of Darren Small, who is a previous Derby winner of the Resurrection Derby. He's also catching a third place fish in the moment right here. So you're watching him reeling in on this clip here. And what I'm going to do is as he's reeling in this fish, you're going to see the same clip next week. So I have Darren on talking about all of the fishing derbies in the area, as well as some good coho fishing strategies and king fishing strategies for guys. So next week, you'll definitely want to tune into that and learn more about his experience and ways that you can level up and become more competitive as an angler and really enjoy the different opportunities that we have out here. But I really loved the clip that he shared about his experience with the Resurrection Derby. And because of that, I'm going to show you guys this video so you can see him land this third place fish and then cut to his explanation of what the resurrection means to him. And then we'll transition back. And as if you are watching the video, what's happening now is the fish took a big run and then he finally got it back to the boat one more time. And what I love about this video is the guys are so quiet and so serious and so intense because it's a big fish. And then Trace goes in for the net. Nope, not quite. Oh, he goes in for the net. Kind of almost doesn't get it in the net. And then he does kind of a second double scoop. And they pull it over the boat. That moment where it's like, okay, get it in the transom before it gets caught on stuff. And then the guys just get fired up. They hug and they yell. And it's such a great moment. So tell me a little bit of history about your resurrection. Like, when did you fish your first resurrection? Do you remember? And what's that look like for you?
We came up for 2018 and we got third place in it. And I really thought that was a big deal. It was like, wow, third place in this big derby. It was great. And me and my friend Trace, we were up, I think we caught it up off of Susha in the Hummer Hole, if you ever heard of that up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we were actually fishing Parker Reef and nothing was going on. There's a million boats. So we just went up around and I heard about this spot. Hey, let's just go up there and check it out. And sure enough, we hooked 2 fish right when we got there. And I think we came back to the weigh-in and they were still setting up the tables. I think we were back so quick. And I think it was like a 16, 3-4. And then Trace was like a 12 or something. And we came back there just for the rest of the day. That was it. We were done. That's when we could only have 1 fish. And then Sunday we went out and it was just like, it was pretty tough to concentrate to go back out on Sunday when you know you got a good one in them. So we only tried 10 more spots. But that was the first big derby that I've actually placed that meant something. And then 2019, that's a crazy story in itself. We Saturday and we didn't do very good. We caught some small ones, maybe a few shakers. Then we went back up to Parker Reef and we're fishing Point Thompson, I think that is, right before Parker Reef. There's a big rock right there. And I hooked one before and I lost it. I didn't know how big that was. That was a nice one. Mm-hmm. And then maybe 15, 20 minutes later, I hooked it again and boy, that was it. And then it took us 10 or 15 minutes to get this thing in. It came out to be 18.54.
Nice.
I threw it in the box, shut the lid, trying to look at it. And then Trace was trying to get him one. And I started looking at the time. Oh, crap. We should probably get going. And I don't know what the weather was because the weather was really bad that night before. And sure enough, we go across Rosario and there's 4-footers. I'm going, oh, man, we're going to miss this weigh-in and with this fish. I had a huge craft pro and I had that thing probably as fast as it would go in that day of water. Yeah. So we pull in the Capsani and we have 8 minutes spare and I'm actually running down the dock and people are going, oh man, that's it. That's the winner. And a friend of mine now, Nick Poley, he was like, couldn't believe it because he thought he had it in the bag. And, And I didn't know Nick at the time. He's a good friend of mine now, but it was like he just couldn't believe it. And so that won the $10,000. And it was like, that was crazy. That was a crazy day. But yeah, it was just like I said before, 20% of it or 80% of it's luck. And I think 20% of it's skill. Anybody could have caught that fish, but hey, the right place at the right time, I think. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it breaks one fisherman's heart.
Yeah. And
It's
when
like the best day ever for you.
I had that third place fish, I thought for sure I got railed like that too. It's just like, I think Jason Squibb came in and he had an 18. He blew me out of the water and won that derby, I believe. And I don't know who won second. I can't remember who won second in 2018. But yeah, I know the feeling, man. I know exactly how you get bumped. And so, yeah, but that's the whole idea of having derbies and the, the adrenaline you get from all this stuff because you don't know someone to come in last minute to bump you out. And it happens all the time.
Yep, or it might be your moment, right?
Yeah.
It's like the whole time has this different energy than a regular day of fishing.
It does, it does. Yep, and so that's why when I'm out there with my wife and she's catching all the fish, because 'cause she's been on a hot hand lately, obviously, and it's just great for her, it's just great for everyone to see, and everybody's out there, and all your friends are out there, and it's just a good time, it really is.
So if somebody's listening to this and maybe they even haven't considered doing a derby before, what would you recommend or what advice would you give somebody in that camp?
I would look at the tides, see get a game plan. Up here in the San Juans, there's 100,000 places you can go to catch fish, and that derby winning fish could be on any point at any time. And we'll be fishing in the Resurrection this year, it's most of the Chinook will be probably caught in Bellingham Bay. What's gonna have to. I would just look at the tides, make sure your hooks are sharp. Put a new hook on every time because that you want every chance to hook that fish. You want it just laser sharp. Check your leaders, check all your gear, make sure your boat's running good, make sure your downrigger cable is all good. Everything that so you don't have any problems when you're out there. Talk to people too. Some people on derbies won't say anything, but other people might. But the best of all, most things have fun and just have a blast and you'll catch fish.
It's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend if you have never fished a derby to check this out. Give Cap Sandy Marina a call, get your moorage lined up, and come out here and fish this derby. It's going to be a blast, and every single penny goes to a great cause. But yeah, grab your tickets. Happy fishing, everybody. Have a blast, and we will catch you next week, same time, same place, same channel on the Fishing for a Reason podcast.